Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to go over a lot of stuff today. We love educating you guys. Today's webinar is which marketing channels are right for you. And that's such an important question because a lot of times as a small business, you can't do everything. You need to be smart about what you're doing and you need to be really putting your investment and your time in the right place to get the right type of client. So, some housekeeping. If you have any questions during this presentation, type them into the Q&A and we will answer them at the end of the presentation in the Q&A. I also have Ashley here. She will be managing the chat and answering any of those questions as we go in the Q&A. Okay?
Right.
All right. So, are you struggling to get consistent business? Right? You get busy with big projects, you get behind on reaching out, whether it's calls or, doing marketing. And then, it's like a roller coaster. You get done with those big projects and then you find out that you have no work. And then you're scrambling and stressed. And then, you get another big project. So, really think about being more consistent, having things running in the background so you don't have those dips. Are you unsure which marketing channel would be the best for your business? Like, which one is the best, right? What type of, like, what would that look like? Are you unsure where to target your ideal client? Like, where are they hanging out, right? Are you spending your time and your investment to get the type of projects and work that you really love? And if you haven't met us yet, I'm Deborah Scarpa and Ashley here. Ashley Blazing is our operations manager. We're from Home Designer Marketing. You can follow us on homedesignermarketing.com. How we can help you as designers, branding services, marketing, systems, and processes. So, branding is strategy, copywriting, logo design, websites, all of that, having that set up to attract your ideal client, super important. That's step one. Marketing services, email, SEO, social media, online ads, automations, like consistently getting out there and bringing traffic in, right? Building awareness. If you're just building a website, you can't expect people to just show up. It takes work to show up. Nobody shows up on page one by accident when somebody's like in search. It has to be planned. It's too competitive to just show up by accident. Systems and processes. So, helping you guys work smarter. And with that, we're going to be offering some AI services to help, to help you stay lean and build that profitability. And so you can focus on doing the work that you love. So, we do offer a free brand website SEO audit. You can sign up for that using the QR code or using the link there. Love to help you out. We spend about 45 minutes with you, really going over like what is working, what is not working, you know, how to focus your effort, Does your branding need improvement before you start driving traffic? Or is your brand all set and you can start driving that traffic? Where are you at? What opportunities do you have? We are a huge supporter of NKBA. So this course is approved for NKBA credits. In addition to that, we are doing an webinar for NKBA National. I believe it's next week, right, Ashley?
Yes, 1 week
Um,
from today.
Yep, you can go on our website, sign up for that. We'd love to see you there. And again, you can sign up on our website. We also will be speaking at KBIS this year and have a bunch of other national webinars with them this coming in 2026 that we're super excited about. So today's agenda: marketing channels, strategies for creating a successful marketing campaign, understanding and targeting your ideal client, pros and cons of SEO, organic social media, email marketing, Google and social media ads, right? So we're going to be going over a lot of stuff, but it is super important. So first, I just want to start off with something that is really, really important. I know we're going to be talking about marketing channels, but I just want to make sure that you have the foundation right here set up before you are driving traffic. Otherwise, you're going to be driving traffic to a website and they're just going to close the tab, and it's going to be a waste of time and money, resources on driving that traffic because you're not going to get the results. We absolutely find that having that brand and that website, communicating your value and looking gorgeous online makes a significant difference in the results you get, when you start driving that traffic. So I want to show you a little bit what I'm talking about here. So I want to talk about branding just for a moment, and then we'll get into the marketing channels, but this is so important. So your brand is how your company is perceived by those who experience it. So it's an emotional connection. It's how they perceive you. Are they perceiving you as like taking on really small projects? Are they perceiving that you can't handle a big project? Are they perceiving that everything's kind of messy and unorganized and they're not like trusting you, right? I want them to come to your website and I want them to feel an emotional connection that's like, wow, I am in love with this company, her, him, like whoever you are. I'm in love with you. I want to work with you no matter what, right? That is the gut feeling. I want them to scroll down and feel that. So here's an example. Here's a logo before, here's a logo after. When she came to talk to me, um, she'd had this flower logo for years. She really loved it. I think a friend of hers designed it. I can't remember. But, the idea was we were going to clean it up, make it more modern, beautiful. And then she went through strategy with Ashley and our team. And Ashley sends me a message. Hey, just to let you know, that flower logo is not going to work. All her clients are male, right? So, like, this is how important strategy is. If we had not gone through strategy and uncovered that, we would have probably kept this flower logo, and then all her ideal clients who were male would come to that website and not feel like it was the right fit, right?
Correct.
So here was her website before, and you can see that, from the design of it and everything, it looks like, her work is definitely impressive. The problem is your ideal client might not ever get to see the work because they're going to come here, they're going to give your homepage 3 to 10 seconds, and then they're going to close the tab if they're not interested, right? So this was her before. This is her after, right? So coming here, like the fonts that are selected, the logo, the colors, all of it is a little bit more masculine
Mhm.
than some of our other designs because that is who her ideal client is. If we hadn't uncovered that in strategy, the look and feel would have been totally different. The messaging would have been totally different. The way it is all laid out would have been totally different, right?
Mhm.
So that is why it's so important to have a strategy. And then I also want to say, like, the difference between here and here, this website is going to build so much more trust for larger projects. Somebody is going to assume that she charges more than if they had found this company online, right? So that before and after branding, it's the gut feeling that someone gets every time they interact with you and your business. Just think about like when you go online and you are looking for, let's say, an Italian restaurant, and you go online and they're website is like unorganized, the photos are a little dingy and don't look great, you're going to be like, oh, that doesn't look very appealing, right? I'm going to close that tab. And then you go to another one and it's like beautiful photos of the food and like a great layout, and you're feeling like that experience. You're feeling like you can really feel like it would be like it to be at that restaurant, and you're super excited about it. That's the feeling that I want. Here's another one, a logo before and afterwards, right? Beautiful, the after fonts and everything like that, really pretty. I want that high-end luxury like feel in the logo, the website, the type, the colors. Here's her before, which looks like she's not very experienced, right? Looks like she's just starting out.
Mhm.
Um, when, she is a beautiful designer, right? Here is her after. Um, Again, is your brand positioning online to attract your ideal client? And that's what I talked about like before. Like here's another one before and after, right? Having that beautiful look and feel. And here is his before. Super busy and gosh, it's like overwhelming. Like if I came to this website, I would just close the tab because I'm like, he obviously doesn't understand design because it's so messy and just like everything is shouting at me.
Mhm.
It just doesn't have like, think of the room that you're trying to design and having that calm, beautiful look. That's the feeling that I want. Like here is his after. Okay. So if you're not sure how your website is or anything, definitely like book that audit. Happy to help you out. But this, whether, no matter who's helping you or you're doing it yourself, or just make sure when you come to that site, like it has that beautiful feel, and the messaging is communicating right away, like the value you're offering, the services you're offering. So understanding and targeting your ideal client. So identifying your market. Who do you think would benefit the most from your services? And when we're working with clients, we bring them through a strategy process. It's like asking them, doing a deep dive. I want you to really think about these questions. Is this something they need and want? Are there enough people that want to solve this problem? That's a really important question. If you're trying to sell something that nobody wants to buy and you're selling it like local, then like that's a problem. We have one client that is in two locations, and the locations are very, very different. Like one's on the West Coast, one's on the East Coast, one's really rural, and the other one is like really busy, so many more people. And the messaging, the services she's selling, like everything is completely different from each other, right, Ashley?
Yes, yes, different people in those areas, different things that they're willing to invest in. And so you have to take that into account with the marketing and the messaging. So making sure that your product, service, whatever it is, matches the market. Otherwise, you're kind of like running into a brick wall, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, working with her, like, yeah, we really have to pivot based on like what, the marketing we're doing for each of the locations are so different.
Hmm.
So, what locations are you able to work in, right? Is it local? Do you have a couple different locations? Are they totally different? Um, if you're doing like second homes in one location, like, let's say you're doing second homes and they're up in the mountains versus like, residential homes that are like in a city, that's going to be totally different what people want from those.
Yeah,
Like,
different investment levels, different goals, right? Of the space that they're trying to do. Maybe it's a whole brand new home that's a vacation home. That's completely different. So it's just really making sure that you're on target for your target market of what you're offering in the right area.
yeah, absolutely. So, one way to do a deep dive is to survey your clients. Ask them, tell them it's not a sales call, that you just want to get to know them better. And a lot of times, what comes out of that is you actually end up getting more work, but because they understand that you really care and you're trying to help them, right? So survey them, like what is their age, job title, gender, location, like what are their interests and hobbies, like how do they relax, like are their second homes like at a ski resort, or are they in the desert, or I don't know, like where are they, um, where do they take vacations? What brands do they buy from? Right? Are they people that care about the environment? Are they people that like really high-end brands? Are like, I don't know. What are they like? Where do they spend their time? Are they involved in groups? What social media platforms do they spend time on? Like, are they in Facebook groups? Are they spending time on Instagram? Like, or are they spending time on YouTube? I don't know. Like, where are they spending that time? Where do they go to get information? Do they do a search on Google? Do they like to just, you know, browse people and follow people in social media? What type of home or business do they own? Right? Are they doctors? Are they lawyers? Um, are they just, families with kids? Like, who are you working with? And communicating that is super important too, because if you're building a home for maybe a high-end executive that's doing a lot of entertaining versus a home where, it's very kid friendly, those are two different, very, very different, like, you know, services, clients, like everything about that, the messaging, the,
Yeah, so your content's going to be different. Yep. The wording that is used, all of those things will be different. There's no right or wrong. It's just what is correct for your target market at the end of the day.
yeah, absolutely. So focus your marketing efforts. So focus on, all really think about all these questions and really do a deep dive. You know, definitely like do it yourself. Write out these questions and start brainstorming and answering them. Or, if you can't do it yourself, work with somebody to help you. It is super important. Here is a template that you can use to take like a survey that, you can take a screenshot of that. Here's another one for like, another survey.
And those
Just like,
surveys are a way to help you get information and things that you may not be thinking about, because you can sit down at your desk and, kind of do a brain dump of all the things that you think of your target market. But what will really get you the best information is actually talking to them. So really take that step to do that. And so the one before this was a previous client. So if you have clients that you loved working with, and I know a lot of your clients become your friends, I know would be more than willing to give you some information, like send this out, ask the questions, right? You're going to go, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. I need to incorporate that into my marketing. So it's really, really valuable to make sure you do this step.
yeah. And even like, learning how you can service your clients better, right? And I know a lot of people are really scared to do like a client survey or like interview, but I can tell you from personal experience, like you're going to get so much positive feedback. People are going to be really happy that you care about them and you're trying to learn how to help them. And you're definitely going to get a lot of positive feedback. And if you're struggling to get work right now, absolutely, I would do this because um, most of the time you end up getting work from it, even though it is not the agenda of the
Right.
meeting.
Correct.
And if you don't have work now, too, you do need to learn more about your ideal client so you can get that work.
Mm-hmm.
So write in chat, is your marketing goal to validate or grow your business? I want you to think about that for a second. Like, is it to validate your business? Like, do you already have a lot of business coming in? But you want, if you get a referral or somebody finds you, you want everything online, your website and your social media pages to look gorgeous, have the right messaging and everything like that. So, you don't lose that business, right? Or is your marketing goal to really grow your business? Like, I want to like increase my profitability. I want to increase my revenue. I want bigger projects. I want to bring a team on, right? Like the marketing strategy that you implement, what you implement really depends on the how you answer this, right? Because the recommendations I'm going to make and we're going to make is going to be different for each of these, right?
We've got several grows. There's a validate, and one person said both. So really good answers here.
What did they say, Ashley?
One
What?
person said both. We've got one
Oh, yeah.
validate and several grows.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get people asking me all the time of like, how much should I invest? Or what should I be doing for your marketing? Right? What is that investment? Whether it's time or money or whatever it is, right? Effort. It really depends on like what your goals are, right? Because if you want to validate your business and you're already like getting leads and everything like that from different ways, but you still need to have that website and social media page like up to date, looking gorgeous, having your latest projects, having the right messaging. Then, you know, maybe you don't have to invest as much effort into driving that traffic, right?
Mhm.
If you want to grow your business, right? Then you need to step on the gas a little bit more, right? You really need to step on the gas and invest more in your marketing. And I'm going to give you an example here of when it's not a match. Like quite a while ago, I met with a company. It was a couple of owners. They owned another company and they wanted to like double their revenue, but both of them were only working, I think, 10 or 20% in the business. They actually were focused on their other business, right? So they didn't want to invest any time. They didn't want to invest any like resources, any money into growing the business, really. But then they had huge goals of like, huge growth goals, right? Well, that's obviously like not gonna work, right? It's not lining up, right? Um, so I want you to really think about it because, if you don't have the investment too, think about how you can pound the pavement and, get that work in, right? Because it's super important to be, clear on what needs to be implemented. So now we're going to get into the marketing channel opportunities. So we're going to talk about SEO, organic social media, email marketing, online ads, right? And write in chat if you have any questions about like those goals and everything like that, because, um, you know, I want to use one more example too. Quite, often I talk to somebody that is, thinking of retiring in a year or two. Like when it comes here to like how much they should invest, like it doesn't make sense for them to be over here, right? And investing more unless they're planning on selling the business or something. But if they're planning on like kind of phasing out and winding down and everything like that, then they definitely should be at the lower end of what the investment should be. So really think about like your goals. And again, I know I had this slide up before, but just remember that foundation and then the marketing. So if your goals are to validate your business, you want to make sure that this foundation is like looking gorgeous, has the right messaging and everything. And you always need to be driving some traffic or doing something like if you're getting it from referrals, maybe you're working on that email list or, um, doing outreach that way with like case studies or something like that, could be more minimal. But if you're trying to grow, then maybe you need to be doing more things on this list. And, here for SEO, I just want to go over like some key areas. So, because everybody, I want you to think about SEO as there's so many different things that, SEO is not one thing. There's a lot of things that are for SEO. So if somebody's doing a search online, like your ideal client, here, the term that they use is um, put in right here. And I want to say, like, most people think that, there's maybe 5 different keywords that people are using to search with, but I'll have Ashley comment on like how many there really is.
There can be hundreds depending on your services, right? And you could have a really large handful of keywords per service. And really, when you look at it too, let's say that like kitchen remodels is one of your services for an easy example. You could have kitchen remodels, kitchen remodeling in your city name, kitchen remodeling near me, right? There's those, but then you get into questions, right? We've all put questions into Google or these days even ChatGPT or whatever your AI of choice is, right? And there's, you know, you can rank in those platforms as well. But there's all question-based things about those services. And then there's really, really specific questions like when it gets into investment levels or the best materials and all of those types of things. So that's when you get even further down the path of things like blog posts and FAQ sections. So it's more than just what keyword is best for this service page and your service in general. There's a ton of things that go into each of those. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for like
Of course.
explaining that more because I feel like that's a huge mistake. People think, they think that they build a website, they kind of guess on what keywords to put in there, and then they're surprised when they're not showing up and ranking online. When like like Ashley said, there could be hundreds of keywords. And some of those keywords, think of them as huge opportunities because there's always a few keywords that are super popular and they're going to be really hard to rank for. But then there's a whole bunch of keywords that are like still really specific to like what you're trying to rank for in your ideal client, but they're they're not as competitive and they're going to be easier to rank for.
Yes, and depending on what they are, the intent of the searcher may be better anyways, meaning they may be more serious, right? Versus somebody who's just kind of like top level short keywords. They're just kind of, messing around in their searches versus somebody who's really digging in. They're probably really looking for somebody to contact today, right? When they're doing those more
Yeah.
impactful searches. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely like, think about the intent of somebody. Like, is there intent that they're actively looking, for an interior designer or your services? So this, I just wanted to explain that to you guys because I see that as a big mistake and misunderstanding. Google Ads could be showing up here. Also, in addition to that, like we're seeing a lot of AI results showing up here, and that is a huge new SEO opportunity. And the companies that are taking advantage of like implementing those strategies are going to be way ahead than the others that don't. Yeah. So if if you haven't been doing a lot and you know, um, like I would just be aware of the fact that the companies that are going to be implementing those new strategies are going to be moving up because as you know, that could take up this whole area and then the maps get pushed down and then the organic SEO gets pushed down. So um, the maps here are still always going to be super important because people are looking for a local, company. Um, I really want you to work on getting your Google reviews. It's just like if you're searching for a restaurant, they're going to go to the maps, they're going to look at who has the most reviews, they're going to open up those websites, and then they're going to decide in 3 to 10 seconds, am I interested or am I not? Right? So the Google reviews are super important and really make sure those reviews are like talking about what location the project was, like what the process was. Were they happy with that? Were they happy with the end result? What type of project was it? Like the key words that are people are using in the reviews, we believe are showing up for SEO.
Yes, that's one of the things. There's a lot of things that Google won't really tell you um, how they're ranking businesses, but sometimes it's just obvious what things are affecting rankings. Regardless of all of the different marketing channels that we're talking about today, every single one of you should have Google Maps as one of them, right? Like Google Ads might not be a good avenue for you, but everybody Google Maps is going to be, and it's called Google Business Profile, actually has in parentheses there. Everybody should be on it, should be optimized. You should be getting reviews because it's an opportunity for every single one of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like getting reviews and having your profile, your Google business profile optimized for all the different keywords. Like that is going to help you so much. And then having a website, it doesn't have to be a big website. It just has to be a gorgeous website, right? With great messaging. And then down here, website content, services, additional service pages, landing pages, like targeting specific locations, blog posts, images, all of that, all those keywords. See custom interior design in Bloomington, Illinois, right? That is copy that's on this page. Website SEO content, we talked about some of it. There is a massive amount of strategies for SEO. There is so much like website pages, service pages, landing pages, targeting locations. And when I say service pages, additional service pages. Like if you have an additional page on kitchen remodels and your competitor doesn't, there might be a good opportunity for your page to show up before theirs. So blog posts, and probably the biggest mistake I see with blog post is it not being programmed and the right keywords not being selected. Like you should be picking the keywords you want to rank for first based on your strategy, and then picking the topic of the blog post and then programming it into that blog post, right? Do you see how that's so much different than, oh, I just have some idea that I want to write about and and then you kind of stick a keyword in there. It's like um, get the best results from everything that you're doing. It's better to do less and do it right than it is to do a lot of things and not do it right. That's our strategy. Keyword strategy, title tags, URLs, navigation, headlines, like content, images, monthly content, how fast a website, like I was just on a website and it was loading super slow. Like Google's not going to rank a site and you know, well, it's not going to rank well. It's not going to show up when people are searching if it's slow. All kinds of technical like SEO, back end stuff. Pros and cons of SEO. So, advantages: build trust and credibility for your brand, generate high quality leads, better conversion rate, strong SEO content can rank for years. Disadvantage: yes, it takes time. It definitely takes time. But I can tell you, like, we have like clients that have been doing it for years, and Ashley can talk to about it.
Yeah.
Like they're all doing super well right now.
Yeah, I was just talking to a client this morning and we were looking at the top blog posts on their website, and one we both laughed because like their second most popular blog post is one from like 8 years ago. It's just a great topic. It's highly searched, and they've Google loves the page, obviously, right? Because it's ranked as number one for so long, but so do people, right? So the reason that Google is still ranking that page number one is because people are going to it. They're staying on there and reading it. So just remember, Google can see, of course, who's clicking on things because they're mostly coming from them, right? There's also Bing and some other platforms, but Google still kind of reigns and control in terms of search engines. But they can see how long somebody's on the page with Google Analytics, right? And if somebody's bouncing off after 2 seconds, that's telling Google, oh, it's really not that good at content, then I'm going to scoot them down a little bit and push someone else up, right? But if somebody's on the page for, however long it would take to read that article, 5, 10 minutes, whatever it is, they go, okay, this is good. I'm going to keep them at number one, or I'm going to push them higher if they're down lower, right? So all those things are really important.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be difficult to rank in a competitive location. So if you're not knowing if your location is competitive or not, just go on Google Maps and look up your search, like do a search yourself in your location that you're working in with the services like kitchen remodels in so and so, and look at the maps and see how many companies, like what their Google reviews are, like how many do they have? Like if I'm looking in the maps, when I'm doing an audit for somebody and I see that all their competitives only have, like I was doing this recently and their competitives had like 6 like reviews each, like that's easy to beat. Like that's not going to take that much time. I look at some other locations and they have like 50 to 100. Like that's going to be really hard. Like you're going to really have to step on the gas and consistently do it. I absolutely believe it is important to do SEO no matter how competitive it is, whether it's easy or not. Like you need to, it's so important, especially showing up in the maps. SEO is technical and can require an expert. So just like, I also talk to people and they feel bad because they don't know it all. No, we have a whole SEO team. Ashley and I don't even know it all. That's why we have a whole team that specializes in it, right? So don't beat yourself up. It can be a lot. That's why we're trying to teach you about all the things that can be done. SEO can be a great opportunity for a business that has consistent work or is a good writer and has time to build their online presence. So it is definitely an opportunity for everybody. It is, when it comes to blog posts and creating content, which Google, really cares about, like the copywriting. If you're a good writer, that is an advantage because, we can help you with the SEO part and you can do the writing and you can get like, better results from less of an investment. So that can be a huge advantage. Some SEO tips: use SEO software to research your keywords. We talked about that. Create high quality original content. It's super important with all the AI stuff. Google is not going to be ranking AI content well for like blog posts and website content and everything that provides value. Think about how you can help your ideal client. How can you educate them? When creating blog content, optimize the website page content and images with relevant keywords. When adding project photos to your website, optimize the content and images with relevant keywords. And I can say that, another thing that I see happening a lot is like the images not being optimized well, where they either are made into too small of a file size and they're blurry and look kind of muddy, or they're like made into a file size that's too large and slows down the website. Right, Ashley?
Yep, we see that a lot with images straight from photographers coming on websites, and that's a big no-no. They're way too big. They need to be sized down and optimized to speed up your website.
Yeah, absolutely. Build quality backlinks that go back to your website. So like if you're in like IDS or NKPA or any of those associations, like, and you have like, or you're online anywhere and you have like information about your company and you have a link going back to your website, that is a backlink. Consistently update your website for SEO content. Like, think of SEO as more of a marathon. You need to be consistently doing it over time. I would say monthly over time. The pros and cons of organic social media. So, some advantages: build trust and position your business as an authority. Interact with prospects, get valuable insight of prospects based on their engagement. Disadvantage: time consuming to create content and engaged, slower growth than ads, right? So, algorithm changes can reduce visibility. So, think about like if you know, they're going to make more money, like Facebook and Instagram, right? Meta is going to make more money if they are, you know, showing people ads versus like just organic content that you're posting, right? Harder to track results. Yep. Some marketing is easier to track than others. It doesn't mean that those things are less important, but some of them are harder to track than others. Organic social media can be a great opportunity for a business that has time, wants to be an authority, increase their followers, and does not need immediate leads, right? I would say the biggest thing we struggle with is our clients like providing photos and videos in
Having
order to,
enough. Yeah, having enough to work with because it moves so fast, excuse me. So, um, it's just keeping that page updated or your profile, I should say. And if that's your goal to have an updated profile so that it always looks good, that's different than, like Deborah was saying, going for ads where you're actively trying to get people to click on it and convert.
yeah. And I would say that, like, Ashley, you could talk about this, like, it's always important to be on social media. So when somebody goes and looks at your company, you're validating your business. You know, I would like you to talk about, Ashley, like social media for driving leads versus like Google for driving leads.
Yeah, the difference on social media is that you're targeting a type of person, somebody that likes certain things, is in a certain location, they're a certain age, whatever it may be. On Google, they are searching for certain things, right? So the intent is different. I could open up my phone right now and go to Instagram, and I'm going to receive an ad for something that I may not have searched for. There are other ads of things that you've searched for. That's different type of ad, but you're just plain ad. They are targeting me because I'm a certain, like I said, age, gender, live in a certain place, whatever. If I'm seeing ads on Google, it's because I went and searched something, right? So I'm obviously serious about what I'm searching, or I wouldn't be wasting my time just going and searching in Google. So you want to think about that end of it, right? So a lot of times ads on social media can be more about awareness than on Google, it could be more about, okay, this person is obviously ready to move forward because they're searching for a solution to remodel their kitchen.
Yeah. Yep. So somebody comes to us and they are wanting leads. We definitely want social media pages to be like validated, like up to date, right? But we're really going to push more like the SEO and, in Google is where, in the maps and everything is where more of the leads are going to come from, right? So, organic social media tips: understand your audience and what they like. Create high quality content, be consistent to keep your audience engage with your followers, use hashtags strategically, tell stories to connect with your audience. I think this is super important. Like, communicate the value that you're offering, right? If you just show a picture and nothing else, they don't know what you've done and what you haven't done. Monitor performance to adjust your strategy. Partner with influencers or other brands to expand your reach. This is also super important. The pros and cons of email marketing. Email marketing is a huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. Build that list. Advantages: nurture leads, sell additional services to past clients, generate referrals, improve sales. Disadvantage: content needs to be engaging and effective. Yep, a lot of people will say, they don't like doing email marketing because they don't want to bother people. Well, send them something of value that they will love and not feel bothered, right? That's where like the content strategy comes, like a case study of a project that you just loved, that you just finished, right? Not all emails will reach your prospects inbox due to filters. Email regulations are strict. Never buy an email list. Never, never buy likes on social media. Never buy an email list. Like, it's not going to get you your ideal clients. Um, you need a list, right? You need a list. Email marketing can be a great opportunity that for a business that has a list of leads or past clients and wants to improve their sales, right? We were just talking to somebody who has a really big list. That is such a big opportunity. Um, you know, really think about what your opportunities are and lean into those.
Yeah, and if you don't have a list, think about the ways to build it. Don't say no to email marketing if you don't currently have a list. It should be on your list for the future of things to do.
Yeah, and start building that list. And even like, if you think that you don't have a list, you might have a list in like your invoicing software, bookkeeping software, like QuickBooks. That's a list. And if you don't have clients now, get out that list and like start making calls. See if you can do some of those surveys. Use email marketing software that also sends text messages. That really makes a big difference. Use compelling subject lines. Create high value educational content. Personalize and segment the content, right? Different people might need different content, different conversations, right? Optimize the email for mobile. Include call to actions and online calendars. Track the results to improve future campaigns. Email marketing is something super easy to track. The pros and cons of online ads. Google ads, get immediate leads, targeting based on keywords, location, demographics. Be on top in Google Maps. Results are easier to track than organic strategies. Disadvantage: once you stop paying for them, the traffic stops. It's not like SEO where the traffic stays. Prospects need to take action by searching using the keywords you're targeting. And Google Ads can be a great opportunity for businesses with a professional website, online calendar, good Google reviews, and needs consistent leads. And I would add, like, let's say they're trying to target a different location than they're in. Right, Ashley? That could be.
Yes, so you can target the location just like you can for a meta ad. You can say, I want to target, a location that's 2 hours away from you. It's just in how the ad itself is set up.
Yeah, exactly. That might be a little bit harder to reach with SEO. That might be an
That's
advantage.
correct. Yes.
Yeah, but really I wouldn't pay attention to like those $100 offers for running Google ads. Like it takes a couple of months to get an ad like optimized and working right and strategy and everything. And I've never talked to anybody who's gotten a result
No,
from that.
you never
So
will. I'll tell you that now. The $100 is to get you to spend more. So if you plan on doing it, sure, to move forward with ads like full force, but don't expect to get ads just from the $100 promotion that they send out. It's to get you hooked in.
yeah. And we actually don't we don't do ads for that many clients, hardly any, because we get a lot better. Our results that we're getting is really from doing SEO and, email marketing and everything else. But SEO is really important in driving those leads. Advantages for social media, get immediate leads, um, more than if you're doing organic. But then again, like if if when we're running ads, we're really conservative about like, does it make sense, right? What type of clients? If you're doing really, really high-end clients, and what is the ad about? Like, what is the content? We really want to make sure ads are expensive. We want to make sure that if we're doing them, it's going to get results. Target prospects you are not connecting with based on their demographics, interests, and behaviors. Results are easier to track. Disadvantage, once you stop paying again, they go away. You're likely to spend a lot of money before they start working well. Yes, like it takes it takes a lot of strategy and effort to make sure that they are getting results. Understand your ideal client and their needs. Create clear, concise, and relevant ad copy. Use images, graphics, fonts, and colors that match your brand. Have a clear call to action with an online calendar. Test different ones. Utilize negative keywords, like that's important. Track and analyze your results. And this is a big one. Like we're using like AI software to help when we're running ads. Absolutely. Like get better results. We get much better results than we did when we had a human running those. And the cost is much, much less to our clients. Right? So thank you everybody for joining us today. Um, I hope you learned a lot. I'd love to hear in chat, like, I know we're going to answer some questions. Sign up for that audit if you haven't already. Um,
I put a link to that in chat for everyone, and I'm also putting a link to next week's NKBA webinar if you'd like to join us for that. Whoops, make sure I put in the right thing here in case anyone wants to join. I know we're right on, a little over on time here, so just trying to
yes,
get in there for you.
yes, definitely. But do we have any questions?
There was a couple small ones answered throughout, but I see you tried doing Facebook meta ads but didn't get good leads, some too far away. Even though target was local, I think the email list will be better, more personal referrals. Yes, so not technically a question from Shayna, but very good observation from her. She tried that marketing channel, tested it, and is now saying that email may be a better channel for her. And you may have to do that, right? It happens. Don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as something that you tried and said, okay, that one's not for me, and move on to something that's better, right? So don't expect to get it right on the first go round. There will be a recording. Karen, good luck on your homework. Reach out with questions. But yeah, we appreciate everybody's time today.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just I think your observation of like, yeah, you tried it and trying something else. But also, it depends on like how you do everything, the results that you get.
Yeah.
So, um, one thing I wanted to bring up before we go really quick is just like with social media, like if somebody comes to me and just like an email list, let's say on social media, they have like a huge following, that's a huge opportunity. So then maybe that might be when we do want to push more and do more on social media because they have such a big following, as long as those people following are their ideal clients, right? Because sometimes they'll have a huge following, but it's maybe for something else, not what they want to be
Yes,
selling.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So it really, all, thinking about all these things will make your marketing results so much better. They're so important. All
Okay.
right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and sign up for that NKBA webinar, and for our audit. Love to help you out.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much. Have a good day.
Bye.